All right, welcome back to Lost for Words with Lori. It is Friday, March 3rd, 2023. I hope everybody is doing well and having a great week. My weekend starts in about a half an hour, not even, like 20 minutes. And then I have taken off a half a day at my first job. I took off a week at my second job, and the celebratory weekend will begin here shortly. So just kind of checking in and giving you guys a quick update and some thoughts as I get ready to celebrate my 52nd trip around the sun, which officially starts tomorrow, March 4th. And it's been a pretty cool week so far. I was up late last night watching TikToks and Facebook, video reels or whatever, and they were talking about these new things called soda cakes, which it's not new, but it's new to me, where you just take cake mix and mix 12 ounces of your favorite soda with it, and of course the combinations of flavor combos are endless in that. But I'm packing, and as I'm packing, I'm cleaning out things, and I found some cake mix in my cupboard. So I took a German chocolate cake mix and 12 ounces of root beer, and I made myself a root beer cake, kind of, for birthday week. So this morning I actually had cake for breakfast because I can, and I'm an adult, and I love myself, and that's what the Lori do. So anyway, today being Friday, my two favorite canine besties are coming up to my place, which is about maybe an hour from them, and they are taking me out for birthday dinner, lunch, celebrating with food, which I love food. So I'm very excited, not only to spend some great quality time with two of my best friends on this planet, but also to eat and to talk and to just hang out with real live people and have a really good day. And plus, they want to see my bird and give him some belated birthday scritches because he is the fearless leader. Buddy Bird's birthday was Wednesday, along with Toby's heavenly birthday. He would have been 53 on Wednesday had he not passed 16, 17 months ago. So it's a little bittersweet, but at the same time, the healing process continues and it moves on. And, I'm kind of in limbo right now. My lease is up in June or July here at my apartment, and I've been struggling and fighting with property management and the office with the very disrespectful nuisance neighbors that live above me who like to make lots of noise, and I don't get a whole lot of rest or sleep. And so I made a decision to get out of here, hopefully sooner than when my lease is up. But so I'm working on trying to buy a house, and I'm having some things need to get fixed there before I agree to sign that paper. But in the meantime, just trying to figure out what I need to keep, what needs to go, packing, purging, cleaning, organizing, and trying not to panic or be fearful of what the future is going to bring when I have no definites, right? Other than, I can be here as long as I need to. But I've been talking and having great conversations with my friends as I, navigate life and help them navigate theirs. And, I had a great conversation with one of my sisters from another misters who lives up in the Midwest. And we were talking about, me being scared of my future and being terrified of the unknown, and how sometimes that has an impact on people, and it sets them in a headspace where they don't know what to do, and they don't panic. And my physical space being one piece of that, but my emotional space being another. And I've been in therapy now for 2 years, and my therapist is fucking amazing. She is she's tough, hard, makes me think, makes me do homework and work on the hard realities of what's going on in my first world and my healing journey. Not only with the grieving process, but just about letting go of my past, about the things that have held me back, and getting that new mindset, because this is my life now. My life is changed and it's different, and I have to come to terms and come to grips with all of the new things that I'm going to have to do alone, and have a new relationship with myself, try to figure out what makes me happy. And to be fair, I don't have any answers to that right now. And so being scared and not knowing all of those things, I've learned, how to revisit my emotions, and I have different relationships with my feelings now and how I handle them, and I don't react to them the same way that I used to. They no longer derail me. I don't feel self-destructive or feel like, I can't bounce back faster after I experience some of the harder emotions, like, grief and death and loss and sadness and depression and disappointment. And had a great conversation with my therapist this week about how my relationship with my own feelings has changed, and how I can still experience them in the moment and go, okay, thanks for visiting. You can go now, and continue on my path, continue on my journey in a more positive, reinforcing, self-control kind of way. And I get to pat myself on the back for that. I get to be proud of myself for how much I've learned and I've grown over the last, 2 years of my life, considering and given all of the circumstances and the things that I've had to change and endure. And, trying to figure out what's next. And I'm really, really trying to live my life with that one day at a time mentality of, you can make plans. I have plans. I have a concert coming up. I'm packing, I'm moving. You can make plans. However, not making so rigid of a schedule that demands all of my attention, so that I don't have time to accept feelings or the emotions that visit and come up, because they will. Everybody experiences that. Memories, things that happen in your world that you go, oh, and it triggers an emotion. That's part of, post-traumatic stress. It's part of being alive. It's part of life in general, that we come across things that bring back memories or elicit or trigger an emotion or a response. You could be watching TV and it triggers a response or an emotion. And trying to unwrap those and experience them in the moment, one day at a time. One moment at a time, 1 hour at a time sometimes, and just roll with it, and using the new tools in my toolbox that I've gained and learned. And I'm excited. I have moments where I'm just kind of basically just hanging out and I have no plan. And then I have times where I'm excited and optimistic about my future, even though it's a big question mark. I don't know what my future is going to bring, and I have no clue where I'm going to be 6 months from now. But it's okay, and I'm not so terrified or fearful that I choose to do nothing, or I choose to be so scared that I allow it to derail the progress that I've already made. And I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to collaborating still with my podcast, with other YouTubers, with other people who are also working on their journey, their healing. I had this great idea to do Grieving for Dummies, and that's still on the table. It's not being tabled indefinitely. It's shelved only because I'm busy, and because I'm not ready to tackle that kind of commitment to you, to me, and to the healing process outside of what I'm doing personally in my first world. And I can't dedicate a whole lot of time and energy to it when I'm in the process of doing so many other things. And that's okay. It has to be enough right now to just talk with people in their space, relate, help, nurture, support, not only their journey, but my own. And I feel good about that. I feel good about the boundaries that I've put in place for me, and for the people around me, both in the virtual world, in toxic cesspool world, and in my first world, where, painfully, we all have to learn lessons. And those lessons being that, and I've had this conversation with so many people, and with my therapist, and with my child, and with everybody around me, that everybody isn't going to be in the same space, in the same place of their journey that you are. And some people aren't ready to accept their change. They're not willing to accept their path. And in a lot of ways, there are parts of my path that I'm not ready to accept yet either. It's not a negative thing. But the realization that not everybody's in the same space that you are, and people who aren't invested in healing can sometimes be detrimental or negative in your own journey, and you have to cut them loose and let them go. You can be an advocate for people to change and learn and grow and heal, and you can continue to support those people to a certain point until it becomes very apparent that they aren't ready, or they aren't on that same plane or level that you are, and you're further along in your journey than they are. And if they choose to stay in their self-sabotaging existence, then you being there to support that and enable that isn't doing them any good. And so it's time to cut that loose. And, I've been very clear about, I'm okay with anybody being on my journey with me, as long as we're swimming in the same direction. But if you're swimming in a path that is dangerous or harming, or not going to serve me in the path and be supportive of what I'm doing, then I cannot and I will not allow it to continue. And it doesn't mean that I got to be a jerk about it, or it needs to be a big, huge, dramatic, awful thing. It just means that I wish everybody who needs to do what they need to do on their path, their own personal life, it's theirs to live, the best. And I hope that they can be the best version of themselves someday, and heal the way that they need to. But it unfortunately just cannot be with me. And it doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody. It doesn't mean that I'm downing anybody or saying that they're not good enough. It's just that on my personal journey, I have to continue to move forward, and I move at my own pace, and sometimes it's a lot faster than other people's, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that I don't wish people well, or care about them, love them, support them, wish and have fond memories of them. It just means that it's not okay for that kind of negativity or toxicity to be in my first world. I can't fix anybody but me. And people need to realize that that doesn't mean that I'm not compassionate, empathic to, to other people, or have sympathy for other people's situation. It just means that I can only be supportive in a capacity where I encourage people to get better, to, continue on their journey, and be supportive for the goodness, not for the negativity. And unfortunately, when you surround yourself with people who are invested in being victims, who don't have the tools or the drive or the willingness to succeed, and just want to gaslight and blame and shift responsibility for their own misery onto other people, that's a boundary that I refuse, because I'm not a doormat and I'm not a punching bag. And I can be supportive, but when the red flags are thrown, I pay attention. And that's a them problem. If you're invested in fixing yourself and growing and learning and evolving and changing, then we can have conversations. But if you're invested in being feeling sorry for yourself and trying to skirt accountability and responsibility for fixing your first world, then you're going to have to do it on your own. And that doesn't make me a bad person or a bad human for choosing me over other people. So as I get ready to celebrate my 52nd trip around the sun, it has been a great ride so far. I'm looking forward to the next phase, the next chapter in my book, my journey, my story. And I'm excited and grateful for all of you who have supported me so far on this journey, and who are there in whatever capacity you can be, and who have been great cheerleaders for my success. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I don't know how much I'm going to be around over this next couple of days because I'm celebrating and I have plans, and I'm going to be dropping in on people who I love and care about in my first world, and to continue doing what I do best. So I love you all. Have a great weekend. It's March now. I'm going to get some more fish because it's Lent, and Culver's loves me. And until then, you guys, wash your fucking hands and be a good human. I love y'all. Have a great weekend.